Alright, here we go with another dwarf painting tutorial looking at the Dragon Slayer. So here are the paints that I used, and these will be posted on my blog. It's like watching paintdry.blogspot.com, and I'll have the painting guide posted there as well. You can go over and check it out. There'll be a link in the description below once that's posted, which should be about the day or so after this is first put on YouTube. Anyways, there's the model rotated around. Unlike most of my models, I started this one with a white primer and figured that it was mostly lighter colors, and so I started off with that. Bugman's glow going on all the skin here, trying to stay relatively within the lines to take advantage of that white primer. I did realize that why I don't like white primer. It just takes so long to get this first base coat on here without having any color, the white showing through. I really like the darker colors, especially with these bases. They cover it up really nicely, and even if they don't, you're going to put so many layers on top that it's fine to have a dark bit showing through. Okay, Jokero Orange was going on the hair there. I'm not sure what happened to the video. It totally disappeared. Anyways, Celestra Grey going on the pants, which is pretty much nothing. Looks, you can't really tell it's on there at all, but that's okay because I'm going to be washing those with a darker color. Okay, Leadbelcher for all the silver bits, which is basically the axe heads and those little axe heads hanging from his beard. Yeah, so the Jokero Orange, I'm not sure why that didn't, the video didn't turn out, but nothing really to see. I painted all the hair that color. It's not a big deal. Okay, so painting the silver on there, trying to get that nice and even, putting it on thin, so it took a couple coats actually, and that's one of the downsides of using a white primer, especially with metallics. And then we're going with Mechanius Standard Gray for the base. So I chose to do this just as a bit of a stone carving. I pondered the idea of doing it kind of as a marble slab or something, but in the end I didn't want to spend the extra time trying to make it look marble-ish. And I've never done that before, so not quite sure exactly how well that would have turned out. Okay, Balthasar Gold for any of the gold bits, which is a bit on his belt and the design on the axe head there. Some sort of a gold inlay or something like that. Anyway, this model, absolutely stunning, the detail on it, just absolutely amazing. So really, really like how it went together really nicely. There was a video I did about that. The pose is great because it's plastic. Everything fits together so nicely and is nice and solid, even though he's standing on one foot on top of that thing there. So not too worried about this breaking. Rhinox Hide going on the axe handle blades as well as the belt there. Some of my metal models, if they were in this kind of a pose, I definitely would have had to pin the leg, but not this one. No need to do that. Okay, Reikland Fleshshade is going on all the skin, and it's going to go on the beard as well. So that'll just go a nice and liberal coat of that on everything. There it goes on the beard. I noticed later on that his lips inside that beard there are very difficult to get at with a paintbrush. So if you can paint those colors right the first time, that's probably the best bet. Agrax Earthshade for any of the gold bits, and so that belt is included in that. A little bit of gold in that braid thingy-majig on the end of his ponytail. Some of the gauntlets on his hand, or on his wrists, his bracelets, whatever they're called. And then we're going to do Nuln oil for any of the silver stuff. So obviously the axe heads, and so I'm trying to get that to pool just right to help with the shading later on. Try to get a bit of the curvature, the way that it pools there, and getting those little decorative things on his beard. There we go with that other axe head. Okay, so Cadian Fleshtone is going on here. So one of the things I did do that I think I do after this step, because I kind of didn't really like how this turned out, is I touched up all the base colors after the washes. And the reason I did that was to get a bit better blending between the shade wash and the base color. Because the base color then will be blended with this middle tone. It'll blend better than going directly from the wash to the middle tone. So something that just a little tip there for you. So going back and doing the base coat after the wash is a good idea if you're interested in getting better blending. Okay, so Troll Slayer Orange is going on the beard, and I found that this one here was pretty translucent, so it was hard to see what I was getting on there and what progress I was making with that color. Compared to the Jokero Orange, it's just a bit of a brighter orange, but it's not tonally much different. Like the gray scale, if you will, is about the same. So didn't really notice a lot of difference there, but it did help brighten things up a little bit. Okay, then Fire Dragon Bright is going on top of that, and so I'm just trying to paint the main parts of the highlights now. And I picked up the edge paints recently, so they're going to be going on after this. But if this is the last one you have, that works great too. You could even mix a little bit of one of the bone colors with this, or even white, and that could do the final highlights after, depending on how you like, how much extreme highlighting you want to do on things. Okay, now with Kislev Flesh on the highlights there, and you can see that I've done the eyeballs on this guy. Really wish I could have done that on camera, but I just can't. Not the way the model is being held here for the camera. So I painted white and then used Rhinox Hide just to do some pupils on it. And because the model is sculpted so well, it does help a lot with that process, but trying to get them to line up and to be nice and nice coloring on them is quite difficult. So need to maximize the angle in which I'm holding them. Okay, so I'm just painting on all those highlights there, trying to get the edges of all the muscles accentuated, and just give the idea of the extreme highlighting going on. Okay, Ulthuan Grey on the pants there. So I've already redone the base coat over top of the wash, and now I'm just doing a highlight. So this is going to be covering a large portion of the pants, and I'll be doing a white sort of highlighting on some of the sharpest edges. But this is basically covering a lot of the raised areas, almost all the raised areas, and just trying to get a nice blend into the shade from that into the previous one and then into the washes. Okay, so now I'm doing Macragge Blue, trying to do the lines for the pants and realizing that you can't really see those. So what I'm doing is I'm painting on a really thin layer of a single stripe, and I'm going to paint the other side of it and then just try to fill it in. And doing that with really thin down paint, making sure there's minimal amount of it on the brush so that it doesn't flow anywhere, and doing it in really thin layers so that I don't get any big blotches. As well, if I needed to touch anything up, it'd be easy to do. Okay, so the pants are those. The base coat for those are done. Now I'm doing white scar, so that's the final highlight for the white, and just doing that on the insides of those stripes. Okay, and apparently I need to do a bit more Kislev Flesh on things, so touching up some of the more raised areas there. I don't know if I realized that I did that already. Okay, so here we go with the edge highlight, Lugganath Orange. And so this is the edge paints, and so it's just a slightly brighter orange. It's the same tone as the bright orange dry paint, but obviously, you know, just a regular edge painting or layer type of a paint. So you can mix that up yourself if you don't have the edge paints, but nice for the extreme highlighting. Okay, Ironbreaker Silver going on the axe, and so just trying to get the edges of that, as well as blending a little bit on the blades to get that that sort of gradient on there, and trying to make use of the wash that was on there and the way that it pooled. Okay, finishing that up, and then we're going to go on to Gehenna's Gold for the gold bits. So there's little things on those braids, the front and back of the axe, and his bracelets, and a little bit of stuff on his belt. Alright, now we got Runefang Steel, so just final edge highlighting. Very, very little amount of this needs to be done. And that just gets the edges on things there. Not too worried about trying to blend any of those axe heads. Just want the edge, very, very fine edges with that Runefang Steel. Okay, Auric Armour Gold for the final highlights on the gold. And the same idea here, just the final edge highlighting. Very, very minimal amount. Just the things that would reflect the slightest amount of light off those. Now, some people like to do Runefang Steel for the gold highlights as well, but I like keeping with the gold. Okay, Aldorf Guard Blue for the highlighting of those stripes. So I'm just going in the insides of those, trying to bring up any raised areas. And then Calgar Blue is just going to be some really fine lines on the inside edge of that. And that's it, all done. So here's the model rotating around on my little rotating stand. And following that, there'll be the paint guide, as well as all the still images. All the still images, as well as the paint guide, are going to be on my blog. You can check that out. I encourage you to go there, check out some of my other stuff. If you have any other questions, put that on either this video or over my blog, either or answer them both. And any requests for future videos, please let me know. So these are the painting guide pictures that you can see, and I've got some still images. I'll show you some more pictures here of those the stripes in the pants. Just takes a bit of patience there, and trying to make those lines as straight as possible, but also looking like they kind of follow the contours. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it and share it around on YouTube and Google Plus or Facebook or wherever you want, and hope to see you around next time.